We're a bit like Richmond.
Inconsistent.
Yeah, we dropped off a lot, and we're still here on Grand Final week.
We need to make a commitment to one another that we commit to one another.
It's like a marriage, isn't it?
It's so bad. We can't use being busy as an excuse for not doing podcasts, but we are back for a Grand Final special of Best Team Men and reflect on the year that was.
There's a lot to reflect on.
We had a really good start to the year. Then we went silent, but we're back. I love you. I'm sorry it's been a while. I think 2020 is going to be a big year for us, and we should really focus on what we're doing now. What do you think?
Yep, I'm with you 100%. Obviously, we're going to know your emceeing schedule, and I don't really have a schedule. So you've obviously picked up the Thunderbirds, which is good.
Adelaide Thunderbirds has been great this season. It's the end of the second year doing them, which has been good. The season goes pretty quickly.
Yep. How many games do they play in a year?
At home, I think we had about 8.
Okay.
And last year it was funny because they didn't win a game last season at all, and it was so heartbreaking. But all of the fans ended up going and supporting them. It was great. This year we won a couple. We won 3. Good. It was good. You should go and support the Thunderbirds.
I would like to go to a game. I'm always interested in sports that I don't know a lot about.
Yeah. You know, the great thing about the Thunderbirds this year is that some of the players, like, so Maria Folau, who won the Best and Fairest, she's obviously married to Israel Folau, right?
I was going to ask that.
Yeah. And she's been outstanding. She's a gun. Like, she won a medal at the World Cup earlier this year, and she's amazing. And with everything that's gone on in her personal life, she's been brilliant. I met Izzy Folau, actually, 2 weeks ago at the awards night.
How big is he?
Mate, he shook my hand, and I think my hand's broken. His hand is like 3 of my hands put together.
He's tall, yeah?
Tall. Really nice guy as well. And it's really hard when someone's painted so poorly in the public eye, and he's done a lot of that to himself, but he's a lovely guy. He's actually a lovely guy that just has different beliefs to everybody else, and he's very aggressive with his beliefs. But yeah, so how have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. Not a lot to report. I got rid of my beard.
Yeah, you did. And now you've got a dirty moustache. And last time I saw you on social media, you went to Footy Oval and decided to make a highlights tape.
I did, yeah. No, so let me run you through that one. I was sitting at home. Obviously, I've got a fair bit of time on my hands during the week. A lot of my mates work and I don't. So the sun was out. Yeah. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go buy a footy. And I went to Rebel Sport and roll in, paid $140 for an official
So you
AFL.
bought a genuine yellow leather footy.
Yeah, got the premiership branding on it and stuff like that. And then, I thought, well, you know, I might as well put my phone down against my water bottle and take a few clips of me kicking some snags.
Yeah, you did well.
Yeah.
Were they all first take?
Okay, so the funny thing is, the one where I flicked it up to myself from the boundary, that was first take.
Great.
Swear on my existence. Mm-hmm. The regulation 30 metres out from right in front took 3 or 4. And then I went from the Dom Sheed pocket, and then that took me a couple as well.
Okay.
So
let's talk about the Dom Sheed pocket, because obviously the AFL Grand Final is on tomorrow. Well, I have a feeling that we'll have this audio tonight. Do you have much on tonight?
No.
Okay, so you can upload this.
It can be up tonight.
Fantastic. So it's been a pretty strange final series. Obviously, GWS with that game against your Pies last week. Were you there at the G?
Yeah, I flew in. I went in that morning. 8 o'clock I got there. Oh. And Mum and Dad picked me up from the airport with my wife, and we kicked around Richmond and the MCG and all that until about 4 o'clock.
Yep.
And I went and watched the Heartbreak and then jumped straight back on a plane to land back in Adelaide to close at Red Square that night. That was a long day.
That's right, because I saw on your Instagram you were at Red Square. Yeah. So at any part of the game, did you feel that Collingwood were a chance of winning, apart from when the siren sounded at the start?
I thought the first 10 minutes we looked okay.
Yeah.
We obviously kicked the first goal, and everyone was a bit up and about. But at half-time, I saw a mate out having a dart. I don't smoke, but he was having a dart. And, we sort of looked at each other in the eye and thought, we're in a bit of trouble here. You can tell. When you're at a game live, you can tell what's going on and who's got the momentum and if your team's on or not. And then, they kicked, obviously, Jeremy Cameron kicked a goal from 50 in the first minute of the last quarter.
Yeah, and put them up by 36 or 32, something, wasn't it? Or 32, okay.
And then, I was pretty resigned.
Yeah.
I thought we were done and we'd be lucky to keep it around that mark. I thought we were going to blow out a little bit, and then we kicked a couple, and I thought, there's still a chance. Then we kicked 2 more. And it's funny, I actually messaged a mate and I said, because it was a long quarter, it went for 35 minutes.
Yep.
And when Josh Thomas kicked the goal on the left to put us down by a goal, I messaged him, mate. I said, how long's left? Because it was 23 on the clock. And he goes, there's 8.5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I said, we've gone too early. We're going to hit the front and then give them time to, kick another one or two and maybe snatch it. But as it turned out, we just couldn't get that last goal.
No, a couple of things I noticed from the game. I listened to the game on the radio because I was coming back from the airport. Number one, Chris Mayne has the ugliest cry face in the AFL when he cries. It's just because his nose is a bit
He's got
manky.
Weird hair as well.
Yeah. I feel a bit sorry for him because he's obviously played in a couple of losing grand finals with Freo. He's a decent player. I like Chris Mayne, I reckon.
And the way he's turned his career around,
I
feel sorry. There's blokes that you want success for more than others.
Yeah, he has turned it around, hasn't he? Because he was basically resigned to the VFL and just to finish off his contract.
His first season, he signed a 3-year deal when he first came, and his first season he basically spent the whole time in the VFL, and the fans were on him, and he couldn't get a kick, and then really turned it around last year, and he's probably the first picked now for the AFL side.
Shane Mumford selling candy to Scott Pendlebury in the goal square. And I've watched that footage at least 20 times because
instinct.
One split second, Pendlebury grabs the ball out of his arm and kicks a goal. It's a guaranteed goal.
Yep. Or wraps him up in a tackle that's holding the ball.
I don't understand how
He's probably never done that in his career.
No.
And it's just one of those things where he just went on pure instinct and he got away with it.
Someone said to me this morning that he's never sold candy like that before, but he's sold plenty of nose candy.
I don't know if he sold it. He probably bought it.
Allegedly. Let's say allegedly. And the other thing I noticed from that game as well, it was just fascinating to watch how the Collingwood players were playing towards the end, but the Giants guys just kind of willed themselves over the line.
They just stuck at it, really. Like, they were under the pump.
There was a part of me that really wanted the arc to stuff up, so then we'd have the whole week just abusing the AFL that the wrong team was playing in the grand final. So, imagine if Collingwood won by that margin. It would have been fantastic. So, I guess Richmond as well have had it wasn't an easy kind of path into the grand final, but they're sitting there now with a fascinating story that Camden McIntosh was pulled out of their VFL Grand Final side. And who was the other bloke?
Jack Ross.
So they're pulled out of the side. They miss out on a premiership medal with Coburg. Or Richmond, is it?
Yep,
Richmond. Yep. And then they're expecting one of them to play. So Broad had concussion, and then Jack Graham obviously hurt his shoulder. But none of them are playing because Pickett's named, who's never played a game in his life before. He's been in jail, I think. And he got drafted in the mid-season draft. The night before the mid-season draft, he broke his finger, so he couldn't play AFL for 6 weeks. He's playing VFL, playing his first game. Is this just a power play from Damien Hardwick because he's that confident?
I don't know. Maybe you go in... I think with the grand final, two teams are going to be pretty evenly matched. So you try and find something, whether it's a little bit of X factor, that's going to give you the edge over the opposition. And he might be that. He might come in, and you see players in their first game all the time. It probably happens with all sports. The higher up you go, the better you play. He might be one of those players.
And the great thing is nobody can watch his tape of the AFL games that he's played because they don't know.
I've got no idea where he's going to play. I don't know if he's a forward or a backman. I mean, he won the medal for the best on ground in the VFL Grand Final, but everyone's like, he only had 20 touches in this year, but he had 9 tackles as well. So you'd have to assume he's a bit in and under and suits that Grand Final day feel.
What do you do for Grand Final day?
Depends who's playing.
I saw you at the Arca Bar a couple of years ago. I'm at the Arca Bar tomorrow. It's Sporties.
Promote that.
It's a good day. It's fun. You go there and you get your ticket with a number on it, and if your player kicks a goal, then you get a free beer, which is quite nice.
I like sitting at home, and I'm an observer by nature, so I like sitting at home taking it in by myself. I'm not really one to go to a pub and not be able to hear the commentary and watch the game and take it in. But tomorrow I've got Michael Wunke's Bucks party.
Jesus, okay.
So
where are you going?
That's up in Wellington.
What, are you going to New Zealand?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Where's Wellington?
It's just up near Murray Bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish we were going to New Zealand.
What was your take on the end of the Sandful with Glenelg winning the flag in a pretty lacklustre game? It was pretty disappointing.
You know what's funny? I wouldn't have thought it was that long between flags for them.
Oh,
I knew they had lean years, but what was it, 37?
33.
33 years. So Westies was 32.
Yep.
I knew they'd been a long time. Obviously, I was involved down there, but 33 years is massive. Yeah, it was a bit of a nothing game. I tried to watch it, couldn't get through it.
It's interesting. I ran into Bobby Carlisle, who looks like he's eaten about 12 people in the past couple of weeks. He's really blown out. And
owns the gym.
he's so weird.
Yeah.
How does Bobby Carlisle own F45s and he looks like a mattress? It's ridiculous. So anyway, it was quite interesting because he walked out from the crowd and I think this was at about 3/4 time. He said, "Why aren't people fighting?"
Yeah.
So the Port boys probably didn't play the way that Port Adelaide do. You wonder how much it means to some of those guys as well that haven't played. They've been in and out of the side.
Yeah.
I was the same.
It's a bit token, isn't it? Like, it's almost...
It is token. I played in the Hockey Grand Final a couple of weeks ago for the Grange Royals and we lost. And I played about 10 minutes on the field, but I didn't feel as invested as I have most seasons because I've only played about 6 games.
Yeah.
So it's like, we didn't.
Well, it's kind of like, tied in but not. But Gary Lyon saying that every player on the list doesn't deserve a medal if they win.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I agree, 100%. It's different to Premier League because obviously the Premier League is won by winning the season. There's no final.
Yeah, I can see that.
Whereas, a grand final is a one-off game. Look at the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, finished outside the top 4. No one probably gave them a chance. But, they come in, they win the flag. So that one-off game means everything.
Yeah, just hearing you speak, then it's probably changed my mind because there was a part of me thinking that Jack Graham maybe deserves a premiership medal because he played in the prelim and got him there. However, you're right because if say that Pickett plays incredible tomorrow, that doesn't say that Jack Graham was going to do that.
That's
so
right.
the result could be different.
Yeah, and someone on Twitter said. I bet if Gary played all 22 games and then missed out, he'd still feel part of it.
Yeah.
And you just I tell you right now, West Adelaide under-19s.
Yeah.
I played 18 games and played the second semi-final and the prelim and then got dropped for the grand final.
Yeah.
By my dad.
Whoa.
Yeah. For Luke Jericho, who ended up getting drafted, so that doesn't matter. Anyway.
It was pretty handy, Luke Jericho.
Yeah.
He was all right at the
So I got dropped for him and he ended up getting drafted, but that's not the point. And
how's their relationship with you and your father?
It was strained for a while.
Yeah,
As it turned out, me playing probably wouldn't have changed the result. We won comfortably.
Do you think your dad, John Burgess, listens to that?
John Burgess is too busy on Wheel of Fortune. But I can tell you, you don't feel a part of it. I played all season and the finals, and you don't.
Yeah.
You just do not feel a part of that one game.
Yeah, my mentality's funny though because I'll be like, hey, you know what? If we lose a grand final, it's totally fine. I get it. But if we win, I'm the first one to get a medal. Even if I played one game, I want the medal.
Yeah,
just because I like medals and I never win them.
If you're playing it.
Yeah, I'm a bit selfish like that.
What's going on at the Crows?
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'll get a game there next year.
Well, I mean, look, Jericho might get another chance ahead of you. It's fascinating to see what's happening. I think you know what happens, and this happens in a lot of industries, in the media industry as well. As soon as people see there's a little bit of unrest, other clubs start having a look around. You know what? I like what the Crows are doing, only because they're being very clear on their message for what is the next few seasons. And they're obviously going for youth. Yeah. So Alex Keith gets a contract offer from the Bulldogs, which is, I think, 3 or 4 years. Yeah. The Crows weren't prepared to offer him that because they probably wanted a shorter term contract. It's the same with Eddie Betts. Jenkins, the same.
Sauce.
Sam Jacobs, and potentially if Brad Crouch goes. So if you pull that all together, exactly, Greenwood, they're not going to play in their next premiership side because they're not going to win a flag in the next 2 years, the Crows. So if you go, all right, so they're all late 20s, early 30s, we need to make a call right now on what we're doing. The Crows have never really bottomed out because you can't afford to in a city like Adelaide. So they've never really dropped down to get that high draft. It'd be very hard to recover. What they have the opportunity of doing now is letting go these players that they think that they can. So Darcy Fogarty comes in and replaces Josh Jenkins straight away. Yeah. You need to do that. They need to get a ruckman in the Crows because they can't just rely on O'Brien. No. And with the Crouch thing, if they trade Crouch to the Gold Coast and get Lukosius,
you'd say that's a win.
It's an absolute win for them. It's interesting though because I think that their camp from a couple of years ago is still having lasting effects on the playing group.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, that can actually happen.
It's a big clean out though. I haven't heard of a clean out like that in footy for ages.
Do you reckon? I reckon the last time that happened was Malcolm Blight.
Yes.
In 96 or whatever.
That was and then before he took over.
97, 98, they won the flag. So
that's right.
There's nothing to say it's not going to work.
Yeah, Adelaide's a funny place. We need to get everything right in South Australia. The coach needs to be right, the playing group. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty long couple of seasons.
It's funny. I was walking through the mall a couple of Fridays ago I reckon just after Don had stepped down.
Yeah.
And
I saw you on TV.
yeah, I was going to say. So they asked me who I thought would be a good replacement, and I very tongue in cheek said Ross Lyon because he's got an attractive game style. And
Yeah.
would make the fans very happy.
Yeah.
And then I see last night that they're actually saying he could potentially take the job.
He would shake up the Crows. He'd shake up the
would.
Adelaide media as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It might not be a bad thing.
No. So let's talk about tomorrow very quickly.
Yes.
What I need to hear from you.
Yep.
Because this is our rekindling of our relationship here
Yeah.
on Best Team Men. So I need to hear who's going to win the game tomorrow.
Yep.
By how much?
Yep.
Who's going to win the Norm Smith medal?
Yep.
And what is an event that we will talk about from the game? Now that could be on the field. It could be the performance from one of the entertainers. It could be post game. It could be something like that.
Okay. Richmond by 27.
Yep.
I think it'll be a bit of an arm wrestle and they'll kick a couple late. Basher Hooley for Norm.
Yep.
I reckon he'll rack up plenty off halfback.
Yep.
And an event, Jeremy Cameron will go goalless.
Okay. I think Richmond will win as well. And I reckon they'll win by 15. The Norm Smith medalist, it's easier to say Dusty, so I'm going to go Shane Edwards.
Okay, yep. He's had a good year.
Yeah, and he had a very good grand final a couple of years ago as well.
Yep.
And my event is Mumford will go out swinging.
Yeah, I've thought about that because he's done, isn't he, after this?
Yeah, he's done. And he'll go out swinging later rather than earlier because he's given away. He's given away so many free kicks.
Yeah.
He'll want to stamp his authority early.
He's looked a bit sluggish, hasn't he?
Yep.
The last sort of couple of finals.
Yep.
I think what's a bloke, Stephen Martin from Brisbane stitched him up, and
Yep.
then obviously Grundy, 73,
Unbelievable. I know. The best thing Mumford did was sell that candy in the goal square.
Yeah, that was it. They got
ridiculous.
him over the line.
All right, so this is a commitment where we are back. We're going to keep doing this. We'll do another one next week and reflect on the grand final,
Yep.
and we'll get some structure back to our podcast.
Absolutely.
And I love you. It's great to see you.
It's been good.
It's been great.
It has been. I'm glad we're back. We've spoken about it for that long.
We're back.
We're back.
And I looked through the messages that I did send you on that video you sent me, and I'm a pig. It's absolutely horrific because I used to participate in the Friday Funnies messages, and they're not that funny anymore if you look at them.
When you grow up and you have a different perspective on life, it's amazing how things can change your mentality.
Yeah. So if you want them, just send Matty a message on his socials. Have a good grand final day. We'll be back next week.
Thanks, guys.